Smoked my first joint of reefer on the Alameda. Never got fronted work, I copped and consigned you. While you pop shit about the 7-3 split, I was at the car dealership copping the whip. Girls follow the leader, coming through in the S fever, choking on Chiba, looking like he having a seizure. I'm loving my life, I'm loving my life. From the streets to the page, from the pen to the mic. Even though every day is like a roll of the dice.
Northeast, get your hands up, get your hands up, get your motherfucking hands up.
Northeast, shut it down, shut it down. Northeast, shut this motherfucker down.
It's Shank Rock and Tommy Gunz back at it again with another demonstration. This demonstration is called The Game, a Baltimore hustler's perspective. All right, Tommy, we'll go ahead and we're gonna touch off on the game a little bit, not to glorify it, but you know, me and Tommy both learned a lot of lessons from the game, and we got our lessons from the game. So it's only rightfully that we, you know what I'm saying, touch off on it. Now, you know, we grew up in Northeast Baltimore. And in the early days of Baltimore, Northeast really wasn't making no noise. It was always East Baltimore and West Baltimore. Northeast really didn't start making no noise until the 90s, the late 90s, 2000. So, you know, I'm gonna let Tommy jump in and, you know, start building on this demonstration.
Yeah, it was like you saying, coming up, I mean, you know, we was doing what we did, but we really wasn't on the map because, you know, as you know, like with me growing up, like how me and Reed, we was in and out the system. You know what I'm saying? And it was always the same group of dudes locked up. Me, Bubby, Reed, Chippy, Francis. You know, Chippy rest in peace, Francis rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? But it was like when we would say where we was from, they would be like, where? You know what I'm saying? And you know, so for real, I know our generation really put Northeast on the map. As far as, you know what I'm saying? For the hoodlum shit, you know what I mean? Like, it was a thing growing up. I know, like with me, I was always in the trying to figure out how to get my situation better. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, it wasn't a lot of avenues for positivity. Like, I know our circle, you know, we listen, we was young kids growing up on NWA, 40 ounces of beer and weed. And you know what I'm saying? So it ain't too much positive that can come from NWA, 40 ounces and weed. You know what I'm saying? So this when I first got my first look into the street life, you know what I'm saying? It was like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I started stealing. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it was a thing. Just like you know, like when I talk to my sons, it's from a perspective of what I know. I started stealing in the house. 25 cent here, 50 cent there. And once I could get away with it, you know, I was testing my abilities outside. You know, a candy bar here, then a pack of candy bars there. You know what I'm saying? All the way up until that first time I got caught. You know what I'm saying? Because we all think the shit we doing, we gonna keep getting away with it until we see we ain't gonna get away with it. And usually that's when it's too late. You know what I'm saying? You done got caught. You know what I mean? So you know, and from there it went to breaking in houses, you know, because your criminal behavior when you growing up in the criminal element, it only progress. You know what I'm saying? And you into what you into. And 9 out of 10, you're gonna be into the things that people around you into. You know what I mean? And I remember the first time I ever broke in the house, Reed was with me. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm saying, you know, it was like you young and fearless. You know what I'm saying? So it was the thrill of it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know what I was doing. I ain't know what the breaking he and take, or you know what I'm saying? It was just the thrill of doing it and getting away with it. You know what I'm saying? So we took some change, necklaces, you know. I even took a 2 liter soda out the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? That's about, you know, the
Yeah.
extent the extent of my behavior. For real, it was more about being destructive than it was about pulling off a caper. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm saying, at this time, you know, we straight up kids. You know, I was probably fresh out of elementary school, maybe in the 6th grade at this time. You know what I mean? So anything I needed, you know what I'm saying, was basically provided for me by my parents. You know, like, you know, something to eat, clothes, and you know, etc. So that's basically where I started it at. But you know, as time went on and I started getting a little older, boom, then you get into stealing cars. You know what I'm saying? And I remember the first time I got caught stealing a car, I was with Toddy. Me and Toddy got caught. You know what I'm saying? And I had got probation for that. And then, you know, it's like once you start getting locked up, boy, that's why I tell you youngsters, don't even start it. Don't even start it, boy, because once it start, it'll be a revolving situation. You know what I'm saying? That be occurring for you too often. You know? So yeah, basically, that's what that's what I was doing. And then I remember the first time I got into hustling. All right. Bobby talked me into going half on them with some weed. And he was like, Tommy, all we gotta do is stand right here and sell it. And we gonna make all our money and we get to smoke our weed for free. So that made all the sense in the world to me. You know what I'm saying? So boom, we got together and we caught the weed. Went off without a hitch. Boom, we sold it, made a couple dollars, smoked it, and you know, I was on to something. And that incident right there, I think, set the stage for my drug career. You know what I'm saying? Because that right there let me know that hold up, this could really take care of some things for me. You know what I'm saying? Later on down the line, when I really got serious about it, when I really needed shit, when I really had to take care of things. You know what I'm saying? When it wasn't a game no more. When it was about survival. And you know what I'm saying? And the impact of representing. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, you know, all of us that grew up in a circle that was into that criminal element, you know, we all knew each other. You know what I'm saying? So we all knew who was in the streets. And back then it wasn't a thing where a joker could be lying about, you know, he do this. Because everybody from around the way, that we knew each other who was into that element and that lifestyle. Because guess what? We was all at the house parties. You know what I'm saying? You remember the house party, Shank, when, you know, we we would go to the house parties and get in fights. We would go, you know what I'm saying? And
So
it'll
we
be it'll be this Northeast section of neighborhoods of thugs, different neighborhoods of thugs. You know what I'm saying? That we would see each other and sometimes we would be beefing and we would just knuckle up. You know how it went. So,
we went from we went from Northwood Elementary School to Chickapin Middle School to stealing cars and stealing out of sneaky feet to pitching dope on the block.
man, and it all, and you gotta remember coming up, you think you're doing something new, something slick. You don't know that this shit done been done a million times, and that this the natural progression of the criminal element. You know what I'm saying? You the older you get, the braver you get, and the more braver you get, the more shit you start getting into. You know what I'm saying? Then you start understanding consequences and repercussions. So you start trying to develop ways to make sure you get away with stuff, because when you first started, it was all about bravado, you know, proving you wasn't scared, proving you would do it. You know what I'm saying? And for real, and let your partners know who was where. You know what I'm saying? And even even as kids, man, when we was growing up and we was young, I mean, you knew who the seriously dangerous dudes in the hood was. You know what I'm saying? Even as kids, you feel me? I mean, before these certain dudes even got their reputation as jokers that would take care of their business. You know what I'm saying? It was like we already knew who was who. You feel what I'm saying? And I remember being in training school, right? And for y'all that don't know, training school was first off, I went to Montrose. It was a juvenile correctional institution, you know. And as a juvenile, you know, I used to be in and out of correctional institutions because I wasn't about to do the shit I was supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, you know, it was the thing like my guidance was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like I looked up the criminals and and dudes that was up to no good. You know what I'm saying? Dudes who had those kind of reputations in the neighborhood. So I always said to myself, when I was, when I was a kid, I was going to get rich. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I was not going to be poor. You know what I mean? I was going to get rich. And I ain't know uh, 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 exactly which party I was going to enter. You know what I'm saying? Where the dance floor would be set for me. You know what I'm saying? To take my dance, but I knew it was going to happen for me. You know what I'm saying? So when I really entered the drug game, you know, and you gotta understand it like the natural progression. All right. And you know, dudes that see Tommy and roll and how I'm rolling. And listen, you gotta understand how much fucking up I done before it got to that point. You understand?
Man.
Before I got it to that point. See, that's the thing about people. People see the end product and think, okay, that's the life. No, you gotta understand how many dudes was getting killed for fucking up like I was fucking up out here. You know, who wasn't making it. You know what I'm saying? And how many dudes that I seen the streets run out of business in less than a week. You know what I'm saying? And it was like with me, I just kept coming back. You know what I'm saying? I just kept coming back. It was like practice. You know what I'm saying? I kept coming back and kept swinging at that pitch. You know what I'm saying? And eventually I smacked that bitch over the fence. You know what I mean?
Same here. People be looking at me and they see me now, and I have to remind them, like, do you know how many times I fell down? Do you know how many times I went broke? Do you know how many times I got a busted head? Do you know how many times I got up with busted knuckles from pounding the concrete, trying to figure this shit out? It's not an overnight success story. You know, I get people that get at me, you know, I need you to be my manager. And that's all fine and dandy. But the first moment of a trial, the first storm that come their way, they ready to run. Oh, I ain't think it was gonna be like that. Oh, why we gotta do this? And why we gotta do that? You got to put the work in. And one thing that we learned from in the streets, you got to put the work in, whether it's in the streets, whether it's in school, whether it's on a 9 to 5, regardless of what, you got to put that work in. Nothing comes easy. And if it do come easy, it's going to do what? It's going to go easy.
Yeah, you're going to just get ran out of it in a heartbeat, because you know what come with the L's, right? You know what come with the losses, the lessons. You feel where I'm coming from? And each lesson is valuable because it gets you more strategic in the way you move and the things you do. You know, last time I fucked it up like this, so I know not to do that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so-and-so got his brains blew out for doing this, so I know I ain't doing that. You and these lessons are important. All right, so these losses is important for you to take. You feel me? So you don't get into this shit thinking, okay, this shit just overnight, you rolling. All right, because all the dudes that I know that got in it and was rolling overnight, okay, let me tell you something. They came quick and they was gone quick. All right, simple as that. All right. All the dudes that it had before that fast like that, man, trust me. Okay, they was balling. I call it a weekend. You know what I'm saying? They had the streets in the smash for a weekend. You know what I mean? And then you ain't never hear of them no more.
Unfortunately, y'all, we running into some technical difficulties. So we're gonna end this demonstration and we'll get back at y'all a little later.
Northeast, shut this motherfucker down.
Northeast, get your hands up. Get your hands up. Get your motherfucking hands up.
Northeast, shut it down. Shut it down. Northeast, shut this motherfucker down.
Let's take a trip where only a few make it. Around here, real niggas gotta take it. I sold crack to the daughter of a preacher. I put my gat on my 9th grade teacher. If 50 Cent can introduce you to a wankster, then I can introduce you to a Northeast gangster. Many talking, a lot of dogs barking, but I think it's safe to say that Shank Rock walking.